40 years at sea without incidents, I think it's not possible. A lot of medical emergencies in so many years. You'll have medical emergency.
Yeah.
As Steve was said, my AV was washing the deck, and suddenly he fell down, and we found that his full right side is paralyzed. So we had no option than to airlift him.
So this happened for natural causes or something happened during the washing?
No, this was natural causes. Nothing to do with accident or this is work pattern or something.
So you asked for a helicopter?
CIRM.
Where was this? Where was the location?
We were luckily we were proceeding towards the US. The response was very, very fast.
Hi everyone. We have a very special guest with us in the studio today, Captain Tirath Lal. He spent 25 years as a master, 40 years at sea. I've been meaning to get him into our studios for quite some time. Besides sailing, he's also served as port captain and faculty members for various institutes. So he's got enormous amount of experience, and I'm very excited to start this conversation with him about his journey of life and about bulk carrier operations. Thank you so much, Captain Tirath, for coming.
I would like to thank you, Captain Basu, to give me this opportunity to share my experience.
You're most
Thanks
welcome.
a lot.
Thank you so much. So I'd like to start with how your journey started 40 years back. And I'm sure our viewers will be very interested to know how life was at that point of time at sea. So can you just elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'll start with from where I started. I am T.S. Rajendra, 8081 batch. After Rajendra, I joined Shipping Corporation of India. Served as cadet for 3 years. That time we had to do 36 months sea time.
Right.
Then only we could appear for our second mate.
Right.
And then I cleared my second mate in 1985. That was the cyclic slump of shipping,
Right.
which most of our viewers will not know.
We have never seen that
Right.
kind of a recession.
That type of recession. We are told that something like that happens once in 30 years.
Okay.
So during our time, simply to understand, it is like this.
Hmm.
Like more cadets, more officers, less jobs.
Less jobs.
So at the door of most of the shipping companies, they used to put a notice. No applications.
Wow.
So we were not even allowed to go inside and meet the officers.
Right.
Any company. So the watchman was only security guard, which we used to call them now.
Right.
They used to only tell us to get out.
Right.
In any case, after clearing my second mate in 85, I am born and brought up in Odisha,
Okay.
small place, and I gave my exam from Calcutta. So after no job during that period, I joined Eureka Forbes as a vacuum cleaner, door-to-door salesman.
Wow, you did that?
I did that.
My God.
That was Euroclean. They had two products that time, Euroclean and
Right.
AquaGuard.
Right.
It is still there,
Right.
but that time they never used to have dealership or anything like that. It was all door-to-door. So I worked for 1 year in Calcutta, and then I went to Asansol and opened a branch there.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Okay.
By the time it was around mid of 86, end of
Right.
86, shipping was picking up and jobs have started coming up.
But when you were working as a Eureka Forbes salesman, you had already cleared your mates,
Second mate,
mates.
yes.
After clearing your second mates, you were not getting a job.
Job.
That's why you joined. Okay. Okay.
And during that period, our juniors, they became senior to us. Why? Because by the
Okay.
time they could complete their sea time,
Right.
when they got down, they could appear for the exam and clear faster and get
join,
job.
Get a job. Hmm.
So
Okay.
after that, the situation became okay. I joined Damodar Bulk Carriers.
Achha. Okay.
That is how my journey started on bulk carriers.
I see.
Otherwise, in SCI, I have done that time. General cargo was there, so Vishwaraksha, and then we had that time the multi-purpose vessels which had container shoes and all. The
Okay.
Das class and P class,
Uh-huh.
two ships. Ravi Das, Kabir Das.
I see.
Kalidas.
I see. This was
Those
the
ships.
shipping corporation series.
Yeah, cities. And then
Okay.
Vishwaparag, Vishwaparimal,
Acha.
Vishwaparijat.
Okay.
So I was on Vishwaparag and Ravidas.
Right.
These two ships. They are cadet ships.
Right.
We have 13 cadets and only one bosun.
Okay.
So all job has to be done by you, including all cleaning, toilet cleaning, everything.
Right.
Everything has to be done by you.
Right.
Bosun basically just to check for guidance and issuing paint.
Okay. Okay. And the jobs were allocated by chief officer.
Yeah,
Or-
by chief officer.
Okay.
We used to have that time 2 chief officer, 1 chief officer for us.
Oh, all the
Cadets,
13 cadets. one chief
training
officer.
and all that,
Right.
and 1 chief officer for cargo.
Okay.
That is how it used to be. So we sometimes we used to have classes also
Okay.
where
And,
then
I think we were talking about it backstage that you had a very good mentorship on board. I mean, you were learning the jobs.
that's correct. Our whatever I have learned, if I have survived for 40 years at sea and 25 years in command, it is all because of my seniors. What I have learned from them. It was not textbook learning, never. But again, that part that you are keen to learn,
Of
you are
course,
interested.
it goes both ways.
Yeah, it goes both ways. You are interested to see and follow what they are doing. It is never one side.
That's very inspiring because, with the busy life that we have today and a lot of other factors, mentorship on board, I mean, it's always a variable factor. And absolutely brilliant mentors are still there, but it's always variable. You are not sure whether you'll be getting the proper mentorship on board or not because of a lot of reasons, cultural differences, language barriers, and other things. But yeah, fantastic.
Other thing, that time, as you said, how was your life? In the sense, they had more time because we had no port state control inspection,
Yeah.
no right ship.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about P&I survey and all those things.
Right.
Nowadays, you don't have time.
Right.
Even as a master, I am very keen with my, learning, teaching experience and all that. I am keen to teach my boys. But again, you should have time.
And moreover, I think you did not have internet.
Yeah, that is another, I will not say minus point, because this generation connectivity is important, which I don't deny.
Yeah, but
we have to
because of
accept.
Because of that, so much of mentorship happened because of that. Because nowadays, everybody is running to their cabins to check their mobiles and check their Instagram before two people can sit together for.
I think the time has come when we have to do mentorship also on mobile.
Yeah, sure. Now that's what we
Because
have been also
that is what
working
they
behind.
understand.
Correct.
Because if I call him and I try to tell him,
Yeah.
at the end of the
Doesn't
day,
work.
his mind is somewhere else.
Right.
So our time was different. Shipping it was not so stressful.
Okay.
It was fun also.
Okay.
In the sense, when you go ashore, you had 5 days, 10 days port stay. So everyone can go ashore as cadet, as junior officer also. You never have to bother about it. Somebody or other will take you in the evening, come ashore.
Right.
You are going out.
Okay.
Nowadays, as a master,
Not happening.
I don't think I have gone in last 5 years I could go ashore.
Of course.
Reason being, if you're loading in 1.5 day, you are always worried about PSC boarding the vessel. How can you leave?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
then initial part goes in arrival formalities, and then
Yes.
one day waiting for PSC. The next day you are departure formalities and you are ready for sailing. So
Yes.
departure ports,
Yeah.
it all depends, which ports I have been going. I am mostly on Persian Gulf. So
Right.
after COVID, most of the places no shore leave. So we have stopped.
Of course.
I have stopped thinking about that I have to go ashore.
True. Shore leave is a lost dream right now. I mean, it's almost like a fairy tale to the seafarers of the present generation. That is always. But having said that, I mean, with this vast amount of experience on bulk carriers for so many years, I would love to hear about couple of pertinent topics or issues which you feel comes up, or where you feel whether it is related to hold cleaning or hold preparation, and if you could sort of elaborate on some of those topics in whichever, how much ever you want, because the idea is for somebody who's working on a bulk carrier, like a chief officer or a second officer who's in charge of cargo work, or even a master, what should they be aware of? What should they, take care of?
See, life of a bulk carrier, it starts with you have discharged cargo and you will load the next cargo.
Right.
So for next cargo, you have to prepare the holds, depending on what cargo you are loading. So they have all of the cargoes, you will get the instructions, charter party or from your owner or from your broker, that you have to prepare hold as grain standard. Or if you are loading coal, you are loading fertilizer, they have their own standards.
Right.
So you beforehand know how your hold should be ready.
Right.
So that you don't fail the holds. You are failing your holds means loss to the owner. That is the last thing as a master you want.
Of course.
So hold cleaning with salt water first, high power hoses
Right.
and air, combi gun, and so that you reach all the height. I am working on Panamax.
Okay.
Though I started my career, if you see, as a master also I got my command on SD14 general cargo with Derrick.
Oh, okay.
And then second ship was Freedom class, again general cargo.
Okay.
And then we changed over to my company, changed over to
Bulk.
Handymax with crane. For about 5 years I was on crane ships. And then we are on Panamax. Most of our vessels are Panamax.
Okay.
So Panamax, we have no gear. Again, you have to remember that.
Right.
You don't have a crane to pick up your whatever you have to, you have collected the last residue of older cargo
Right.
or your rust. So you have to plan your whole cleaning, which is very, very important.
Okay.
Now, if I have only 3 days and I have 7 holes, so as a management, we are on management level. So we have to plan. In 1 day, how many holes?
Right.
3 days, I have time only to wash.
Yeah.
So in 1 day, I have to prepare that I must wash all the holes. Second day, bilges have to be clean.
Sure.
And bilges is very easy to say. All bilges pump out. But then one or the other will not get pumped out.
Okay. And why does it happen?
Sometimes, the walls are not
Okay.
working, or non-written wall, it is not chained, or some
Blockages.
I am talking of our bulk carriers are 15-year-old plus.
Okay. Okay.
So
What are the challenges that you see on these older ships? I mean, it must be universal for these kind of vessels. So how are as you said, some valves may not be functioning, or some
valves may not be functioning, and then most of the, even if you have earlier the ship had auto system,
Okay.
now most of the things will be working on manual.
Right. Of course.
You will take more time. You will take longer period of time
Right.
to attend to all these things.
Right.
And then once you have washed your holes, then you have to, bilges are pumped out, bilges have to be clean, and bilges size is quite a lot, So even if, there are 2 bilge wells,
Yeah.
one bilge well will have at least 200 liters of drum of water.
Okay.
So if manually you have to remove,
My God. Achha.
and then you have to take it out also,
Right.
that mucking winch,
Right.
you don't have crane.
Right.
So once this thing is done, then again you have all cargo. It is no old cargo residue, no loose scale, rust,
Right.
no last cargo odor, and this is the whole part. You have to look at the hatch covers also,
Of
because
course.
they also part of the whole.
Part of the world, of course. Yes.
So that is where you have to time, and again, it's not my wish or your wish, whether it's not in our hand.
Right. Right.
We have side opening hatches. Now, in rolling pitching, the standard instruction is 2 to 3 degree roll, don't open the holes. And which bulk carrier will not roll more than 2 degree?
Of course.
So,
2 degrees.
practically
2 degrees is
you have to see what you can do. So we take extra lashing,
Right.
and then we try to do like in the sense you have to be on constant watch. Weather will become deteriorate. So then you should be anticipate it first and then take action accordingly. So that it's not that risk assessment you are doing. One of the part of the risk assessment is it should be continuous.
Sure.
It's not that you have taken for 8 hours work, then you forget about morning, you have done the checklist and then everything is okay.
Right.
No, you have to keep assessing that if things are not good, then you take action accordingly.
So you're saying that when the weather goes bad, you should take the lashings and then you can probably open the holes that way.
Maximum 5 degrees. If more than that, you should
More than
not.
5 degrees.
Then we have
not.
to. There are times when I have worked with I have not been able to open the holes.
And what is the worst that can happen in case the ship is rolling and you have a side opening hatch cover? It has a chance of falling out or.
Yeah, I have heard ships losing their pontoon.
Right. Okay.
It just goes off.
Goes overboard.
Off the track and
I see.
then overboard. So, and then
Right.
you are not seaworthy. So
Of
everything is just totally, it's in a mess.
Of course.
That chances nobody, and you have got clear instructions from the office.
Right.
There are times when I have done full hole cleaning without opening the hatches with car lights, cargo cluster lights. The problems are there, but then everyone is aware of it. And then now,
Yeah.
rust scales. Rust scale height is okay,
Right.
but your height of bulk carrier is 18 meters
Right.
at the top height. Can you remove the rust?
How can you remove the rust?
So it becomes very difficult. So it is important that things are done properly during dry dock and whenever vessel is at labor or some repairs are going on, so that it is inspected.
Right.
We can check, but with the ladder what we have, 8 meter, 10 meter height maximum in very good weather you can go.
Right.
And then what you can do is with aluminium, bamboo,
Yeah.
on top of it attach a, tie a scraper.
Okay.
Then you will be able to reach the top height if you are lucky.
Understood.
But then again, safety part is your responsibility.
Understood.
You have scaffolding. They are again unsafe because when you are passing rounding the cape,
Right.
you have heard of abnormal waves.
Mm.
They come without any warning.
Right.
So if anything like that happens, best is not to take any chances. Try to remove whatever loose rust is there by your combi gun
Okay.
with the backwater and the air pressure. It reaches the full height. I have seen.
Right.
It reaches the full height.
And would you say that in this process of hole cleaning and hole preparation, if I were to categorize like 2 major mistakes or 2 major disasters that could happen because of some common mistakes, or what would those be? Or maybe 2 or 3, I'm not sure, but what are the most common mistakes that chief officers make or maybe masters wrongly decide?
See, in my experience, what happens is once you have washed the holes with seawater, you need some time because it rust not develops, but it leaves the bulkhead.
Okay.
After 1 or 2 days.
Okay.
So if you are not very careful, the rust will appear. And then if you have not rechecked prior arrival, the surveyor will find.
I see. Okay.
One thing.
Okay.
Second thing is that you have to be careful in the sense man height. He should not, because normally they have a very sharp scraper.
Okay.
So which I also keep.
That is where the surveyor is going to actually go around.
Go around, and if he says, okay, give me a ladder, then he will go climb and he will see behind the frames.
Okay.
Frames and lower bracket. That is the area where he will find. So what I do, normally I tell crew at least climb each and every frame. And that height we can reach. And then behind, even if you put your, gloved hand and you loose rust will fall. So each frame has to be checked.
Okay.
Forward aft, you have bulkhead. corrugated bulkhead,
Yeah.
that also you have to ensure that there is no other problem if they are not painted well.
Hmm.
So the appearance is very rusty.
Right.
Though they cannot fail your hold unless and until the loose rust is there.
Okay.
But then how you have to protect yourself if he got a glove, white gloves,
Yeah.
and he pipes like this.
Wipes his hands on the bulkhead.
So there should not be any marks which should come on the gloves.
Okay. Wow.
So we do glove test.
Acha.
And all these photographs we have to send to office.
Okay. Okay.
Before-
so you are testing it before even the survey comes.
Okay, this is how it is.
Right. Right. Right.
On other very, very important thing which in generally, invariably, at times not in your hand, with particularly with grain cargo we face is, when you go there, your holds, especially in the evening or the night time, because of sweating, because of the weather conditions there,
Yeah.
your sides, bulkhead sides, forward aft, will have sweat.
Absolutely.
That is not cargo sweat.
Yeah,
it is
it's
your
moisture, right?
ship
Ship
sweat.
sweat.
Ship sweat.
Ship
Because
sweat,
of the
yes.
steel.
Yes.
And then that cargo, the sweat is forming, and then they fail your holes.
Okay.
They say you wipe the full hole. I faced this problem once because we prepared the holes in the evening and we closed the holes. All hatches were dry. We
Yeah.
took photographs, sent to the agents, to the owners also.
Okay.
This is how it is. So it was okay. Nobody came back. In the night, it rained. Morning, I got pilot
Yeah.
at 8 o'clock and I berthed. And the surveyor come on berthing. When we open the hatch, you will be surprised. Okay. On tank top,
Oh.
some puddle is always there.
Yeah.
Grass,
So there's
there will be some.
Correct. Correct.
Water was there. And then he said, and he took photographs. And it was really scary the way my ship's holds were looking.
Oh wow. I see.
Water dripping from the sides.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So
at
it
the
was
end
a
of the day,
shocking
yeah,
experience.
we were really shocked that in the sense that we can say that, okay, we should have known that and we should have put fans
Hmm.
or done
To
something
avoid
about
the
it.
ships.
Yeah, to if we can, but not 7 holes. Which owner gives you 7 fans?
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
Let's be practical.
Maximum 3 or 4 maximum.
Maximum 2 or 3. you have.
2 or 3.
Or rather, I should have basically, in the sense you should keep informed that this is the condition, and but with present situation with the crew what you have, arrival,
You cannot
pilotage,
go
and
for
then
a
you
lot.
cannot, it misses your mind, and then invariably what I have seen is if I miss something, it is never being thought by anybody else.
You're the last
It-
line of defense.
Yes, if you think it is okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have no support on the basis of this type of things.
Okay.
Then grain cargo has, other cargos have also, like if you're loading fertilizer, it has got its own preparation of holds. I loaded sulfur.
What are the most common cargoes that you have carried during you've loaded sulfur, grain, of course?
Mostly grain cargo, but I have loaded iron ore, I have loaded coal, I have loaded fertilizer. Initially, I have loaded sugar in bags, rice in bags,
Okay.
steel cargo, Russia, scrap,
Right.
lot of cargoes, bauxite, coal. In one time charter of 4 months, I loaded coal, bauxite, and sulfur.
Wow. I see. I see. In different voyages.
In the same contract.
Same contract.
Contract of 4 months,
Right.
I had to 3 cargoes.
3 cargoes.
And I discharged wheat cargo
Okay.
in East Africa. So I had 3 ports.
Okay.
And these load ports were in West Africa.
Uh-huh.
And sulfur was in Russia,
Okay.
Baltic.
And would you say there are some challenges to specific loading operations, or when you're loading these cargoes, what are the challenges that you normally face? And thinking of from a chief officer's point of view or a master who's about to load, right now. So what are the challenges that how is the process like?
Once you get to know what cargo you are loading, stowage factor,
Yeah.
its characteristics, its property, we have International Solid Bulk Code. That book you must refer.
Right.
That's a very good book which gives you full report about all the cargoes.
Right.
Challenges for different cargo, we have different challenges. Bulk cargo is not very easy. Few cargoes which are self-heating, which cargoes gives
Okay.
you know
Spontaneous ignition kind of.
gives off gases which you have to be, few
off
are
gases.
oxygen depleting
Right.
cargo. Sulfur, it eats your steel,
Okay.
and if you pump it out through bilges,
That is not allowed.
your pipeline and your valves will go.
Yeah.
So all these precautions, most of the time you get instruction from your office, and then P&I also got plenty of articles on type of
Claims.
for different cargoes which you are going to load and what hazards we can expect.
Yes.
But again, they can give you guidelines practically on your ship,
You
what
have to
you can
implement.
achieve.
Yes.
That
Implement.
is where master soul becomes very important.
Right. Right.
And then again, a loading part you have to calculate on Lodicator, SFBM, and all those type of heavy cargo. If you are loading iron ore, which is heavy cargo.
Right.
So, what are the precautions which you have to take? Is it alternate hold loading? Are you allowed? Does your stability booklet permits you?
Yeah. Yeah.
They may, charters, they may book a charter, but then you have to see.
You have to see all these things.
You have to see all these things.
Sure.
See, am I?
That is for sure.
Because it becomes your responsibility.
I see. So a little bit of elaboration on the loading discharging process, if you can, if you want to share something which you from your experience, the discharging process, especially when you're, because we've already sort of talked a little bit about the loading, but if you want to elaborate on that and then go over to the rest of the
Discharging
operations.
process normally on bulk carriers, it is cargo is discharged by cranes.
By cranes
And
grabs,
then,
right?
by grabs, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time grabs or evacuators,
Okay.
suction pipe.
Yes. Right.
But at the final stage, again, cargo will be collected and it will be picked up by the grab only.
Correct.
Evacuators balance
Cannot do
100,
that.
200 tons, it will not suck.
Okay.
That has to be manually done, and so bulldozers, they have to be lowered,
Okay.
and they bang on the bulkhead. So you have to be careful that there is no damage to your ship.
Right.
They will make dents. Bulldozer thing, when it hits,
Yeah.
they hit because the cargo is behind the frames and all
So
that.
does
It
anybody-
is not coming out.
So does anybody claim for these small damages that are happening, like the grab is hitting this hold and side?
You
Or
can
people
issue
forget about
a letter, that they are not listening, but then nothing works out unless and until appreciable damage is done. Unless and until they have broken a ladder,
Yeah.
they have broken
Then
a
you have to
railing,
call the class now.
they have damaged your frame.
Right.
Then stevedores claim form, again you have to fill up, take their signature, take photographs,
Yeah.
send to the charterers, because they will like you to do it before vessel sailing. Ultimately it becomes your headache only to be after the stevedores who completed.
Mm.
You will tell the receivers.
Right.
But at the end of the day, as a ship, it is always your responsibility.
Sure. That stands for every
Every
vessel
trade,
and
every
every
vessel,
trade,
yeah.
actually. So, okay, great. So, and you were also talking about the cargo documentation aspects. You wanted to share something about that? Yeah.
Very important documents like discharging. If we come to know for discharging,
Yeah.
we have loaded most of the bulk carriers. They load by shore figure, by shore scale,
Okay.
because the loading is done by a shore loader. It is coming by conveyor belt
Yeah.
from their silo.
Right.
So they load, and then final figure. Okay, they say 50,000 we have loaded. If the charter party is for 50,000, then you have to do draft survey. Normally we do draft survey.
Right.
Draft survey once you have done, then you check how much is the difference. You have to sign the mate receipt with what you have to sign the mate receipt for 50,000.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
but my draft survey, if it indicates 49,500, which is quite a lot in the sense, then I'll give a letter of protest. You cannot. Most of the time, they want clean mate receipt so that they get clean bill of lading.
Right.
So in this case, or if you feel it is quite a lot, again, it is not much. If 50,000 parcel, it is what? 1%?
500, yeah, of course. 1%.
So you can contact your consult with the office and you can contact your P&I and then you can see. I have done this. I had this problem in Santos. Loading bulk cargo. Oh, I think that was gone. One of the terminal.
Okay.
And then I had a difference of about 400 tons. I spoke to my office and then I told them. Then again, you can sail from Santos at high tide with our draft. So I had to, you have to think of so many things. I wanted to call P&I and I wanted to do the draft survey at high water. Now this high water I have missed. So that means I have to wait for the vessel is getting delayed for 6 hours. But in any case, my company agreed. We called the P&I and after coming, he told me, Captain, you have done whatever was required. Your chief officer did the draft survey. After that, you yourself went and did the draft survey, and that was more or less the same high water which I am going to get after 6 hours.
Right.
And you got a difference of what, 400 tons? And at the end of the day, that was 65,000 ton parcel.
Wow. I see.
So, they said it is less than what your P&I will cover.
Right.
Our problem happens at the discharge port. See what happens, all these documents we have loaded for sub-receiver.
Yes.
They also have appointed, especially for grain cargo, they also have appointed their surveyor.
Okay.
So beforehand they know that this ship by draft has loaded so much less.
Okay.
So we get problems at the discharge ports.
I see.
Though we always argue that bulk areas trade is always on the basis of draft survey.
Right. That's going to give you an exact idea of how much you've loaded.
Yes.
How much is the quantity?
That is one other thing which is very, very important for bulk cargo is shipper's declaration. What cargo you are loading, especially for grain cargo which liquefy iron ore, manganese ore, nickel ore.
Right.
They are very dangerous if they liquefy. Bauxite also.
Okay.
I have seen.
So they have hidden moisture content inside. Yeah. I see.
Which during the movement of the vessel, during rolling fishing, if moisture content is more than what it is declared in your shipper's declaration.
And how much is the approximate moisture content at those levels?
Different cargo, it is different.
Okay.
But then you will, it is all done by SGS, surveying company, where you have no control.
Right.
That is the problem, Half the time, the problems which we face, we have no control. When it happens on ship, then you have to tackle it.
Right. Then you have to, obviously, I mean, it's your vessel after all, you cannot have any excuses.
One of the port captain, when I went to Gujarat for loading of bauxite.
Port captain or?
As port captain.
Okay. You went as a port captain.
Port captain.
Right.
Loading of bauxite. Okay. So it rained heavily. They didn't cover their parcel with tarpaulin or anything. And whatever was alongside, the moment it started raining, I asked captain, don't load, this is wet cargo. And he agreed that, okay, we should not load the wet cargo.
Yeah.
Now, from the stockpile, from where the cargo is coming, I have no control.
Right.
I don't know kahan se aa raha. It is coming in trucks and they dump it.
Right.
Here. But this cargo we have seen, it is wet. So master refused, okay, I will not load. And this was all 5 hatches.
Right.
So it will be, say, 10 tons each, so 50 tons. The shipper was not happy at all. That what will I do with this 50 tons cargo? So you will get pressure from all the sides, but you have to stick to what is right and what is wrong.
What is right and wrong.
Because I said, okay, if you want to load, it is up to the master. But then I will suggest master, after this loading, let's call P&I and do the moisture content test from the whole cargo. Then also, at the end of the day, it will be up to you. Then they said, okay. Then they agree. So it's as a master, you cannot take anything for granted. Nothing.
That is one of the I feel one of the privileges as well as one of the challenges of the job, that as a master, everything is your responsibility. You cannot take anything for granted. That's very true.
That is what keeps you going.
That's what keeps you going.
Otherwise, every time you are loading, when I am going to Santos regularly for loading grain cargo, discharging in Gulf, going back again. But every loading is different. Every loading, discharging is different. Every time, different berth, different weather, different moisture content, different climate conditions, different crop. So it is
true.
It is interesting only if you bothered about it.
Only if you're taking pride in your job. And
correct. Only if you are bothered about it. Okay, during my tenure, I will make sure that there is no claim on the owner. That is what my primary job as a master is, and the safety of the vessel and my crew.
So how about the ballast water exchange, the PWTS and the other? How do you? Some common comments on that, or
it's good in the sense that practically what find it is slow system.
Okay.
Where loading is very fast.
Oh, ballast will take time.
Ballast will take time. So certain things which certain ballast you have to remove before berthing, but then again you have to be careful in the sense pilots can refuse.
Yeah.
Freeboard is too high. Or at the jetty, your air draft.
Right.
And then other thing which I faced is, at Iran when we are discharging, and after discharge when we take the ballast, it is muddy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And in any river port, when you discharge and then when you come out, you take ballast, it will be muddy.
Right.
So then you have a big problem. The term they use is turbidity, and then your ballast pump will stop. Very frequent. They have to clean the filter very frequent.
Okay.
So once you have informed them early, then it's okay. But then that problem is there. You have to be careful. But still, after installation of ballast water treatment system, there are few places where we have to do ballast exchange at sea.
Even now? Huh?
Even now.
Okay.
Suppose you are going to Black Sea.
Okay.
They have the rule that in Black Sea,
ballast from Black Sea.
From Black Sea.
And you have to exchange it, and then you can come.
Then you can come here.
Okay.
We went to Canada. There also they insisted
that
though you have taken we mentioned ballast taken through ballast treatment system. They said no, you exchange the ballast at sea.
Right.
That is the requirement, and this is the form which you have to fill up and send it to us.
Right. So they do not trust that the system of ballast water treatment system.
I don't know why. They feel that is the much more better, much more better in the sense. Right. And then even ballast exchange, if you see, it is not very easy process.
Right.
Ballast exchange. After discharge you have taken. Now you have to exchange when you are in ballast.
Yes.
Stability.
Right. Yeah, you might certainly get too light.
You will have to be very careful on your lubricator, SFBM, and then again, you have to keep checking. In Panamax, we take hold in the ballast. One of the hole, number 4 hole in 7 holes. Number 4 hole is ballast hole.
Okay.
So you have to fill it up. Otherwise, rounding the cape you cannot do.
I see. So you need that additional dead weight to push you down,
so that your draft is more. Normally our draft is 4 meter forward and 7 meter aft. Understood. That is the propeller submersion.
Understood.
But when you are rounding the cape or other areas heavy, even going to Canada, we want to make it 8 meter.
Okay.
So that you are still okay. That is the only thing which you can do. Otherwise, there is nothing else you can do using the weather.
Right.
So that exchange becomes a bit difficult because when you are removing the ballast from the hold, when it is half, that is the most dicey.
Yes, because you have freeboard and your free surface effect.
Yes.
I mean, sorry, not freeboard, free surface effect. And yeah.
That is the day when I am always on the bridge, whole day.
Okay.
I make sure that I am there. And previous night, I check the weather report. Can I do it tomorrow? And I start early. Chief officer comes 4 o'clock, so 4 o'clock we start.
Okay.
So that by noon time, our ballast is out, and by the evening, you have taken the ballast. Night time, I will not suggest anyone to do it.
Okay.
Because it restricts you.
Yes.
It is not very safe.
You cannot.
Because you don't know.
Yes.
Suppose it leaks to some other hole.
Yeah, you cannot do
And
that.
you have manpower,
Right.
2 people, 3 people. Whole day everyone has work.
Right, right.
So these type of things we have to be careful. Ballast exchanges are very, what I will say, very important critical operation in bulk carriers.
I see. So
Discharging time, as you said, again, the thing will come when you have to sign the statement of fact.
Okay.
There you should be ready with your remarks.
Right.
That is very important.
And what kind of remarks do you find that the captains miss out on, or the chief officers make a mistake on? What kind of remarks should be put?
In the sense that we should prepare yourself to give letter of protest.
Sure.
Because they will try to give you
tankers.
they will ensure that they give you short cargo landing.
Right.
Because they know 400 tons you have loaded less.
Short loading.
Short loading, so they will try to make it 300.
Right.
So you have short landed 300.
Right.
You have to usual remark that vessel loaded this much cargo, all cargo discharge, all holds empty, as per joint draft survey by this and this. Now the problem is, on bulk carrier, where they play around is, one is the reading drafts.
Yeah.
So I take photographs. I tell Chief Officer, you take photograph of your draft.
Okay.
Let him take his draft. Let him take his draft.
Yeah.
Where they play around is the density.
Okay.
Now, density, different depth of dock water.
Right.
It will be different.
Depending on the depth.
Depending on the depth.
I see.
So, I normally tell, okay, if it is 15 meter, normally Iran when we discharge, 13 meter alongside berth depth is. So, half.
Okay.
Dip and take the water, and they do take. We take the density, and we told them, okay, you read this. They come with their own agrometer.
Okay.
And then they don't show you.
Oh. Okay.
By the time they have taken, they will remove it. And they will calculate on that time.
Okay. I see.
Because they cannot play around in ballast, because sounding is taken together.
Yeah.
So only 2 places where they can play around is this, and then that is what they do. So no problem. We are going there regularly. So what we do? Okay, this is our draft survey report.
It's only internally.
Okay. I will put my remark as for ship's draft survey. Cargo discharged so much. All holds empty. No cargo remaining on board.
Right.
Those type of things. And then in general, no delays on vessel account. That everyone writes. That Chief Officer will never forget. That they will never forget. There are other standard remarks which, every company before discharge, they tell you.
Okay.
That, try to put these remarks if it is possible. And then they, most of the charter parties and the statement of fact, WIMCO, SOF has got this, during your port stay, rain periods.
Okay.
Because that rain period has delayed your vessel berthing.
Sure. Yes.
You are waiting at anchorage.
Yeah.
So I have no check on that. No, I am at anchorage. Actual whether it rain or not,
you cannot find out.
Yeah, they say it is from the port log, which I cannot trust. So some remark on that part.
Okay. That can happen.
With experience, there are a lot of areas which we think special ports.
Yeah. Okay.
So we put those remarks. Obviously, with consultation with office that, okay, I want to put this remark, or if you feel, what else can I put?
Okay.
Because at times, you may forget something, which at the end of the day, legal system is not something which we are very aware of.
So now I want to embark on a very interesting topic here, that of all these years at sea, especially your 25 years in command, you must have faced so many untoward situations, like probably emergencies or incidents that has happened. So can you share a couple of them with us, and maybe we learn something from those experiences?
See, 40 years at sea without incidents, I think it's not possible.
Of course.
Maybe it is possible, but then I feel then my experience will be short of those incidents,
Of course.
I have most of the emergencies I have seen through. Interesting thing I will tell you.
Yeah.
I joined the vessel in Calcutta as a cadet, first ship.
Okay.
Night time, 7 o'clock we joined. I think 11 o'clock we sailed. We were going to Chalna, loading in general cargo ship.
Chalna. Where is that?
Bangladesh.
Oh, okay.
Khulna, Chittagong, and Chalna.
Chittagong.
Chalna, Chittagong we used to go.
Okay.
And then 11 o'clock we sailed out, and maybe around 4 o'clock we were given a call. We have run aground, so we have to take the depth.
Oh wow.
That was because
your
of
first ship.
First ship and first night.
My God.
So that was not running around. We have touched the bottom. It is a normal thing here. In the next high water we
It's like
floated.
soft
Soft mud.
grounding,
And we floated, and then we went to the port.
Okay.
And then as third officer, Romania departure. Again, you get lot of cases where the language problem between the pilot and the tug.
Oh.
I have faced it
Okay.
as third officer.
Pilot was unable to convey to the tug. Communicate with the tug.
What pilot told the tug, we don't know, because
yeah,
they are communicating in their
That's
language.
Always.
So he pulled us in some other direction, and we hit the vessel. We are coming out like this.
Oh wow.
We hit the vessel on the port side, and then he told the tug other command. Then he pulled us on the starboard side. So we hit both the vessels.
God. Oh my God.
So as third officer only, you have to railings. We were in ballast, so not much of damage.
Right.
Just scraped through, and then their railings were broken and all those things. But then my giving statement and writing statement started from there.
Right.
Then as a master, a lot of medical emergencies. In so many years, you will have medical emergencies.
Yeah. So there was a situation where you have to evacuate somebody also.
Yes. I have to
Okay.
evacuate. During as chief officer, this my AV was washing the deck, and suddenly he fell down, and we found that his full right side is paralyzed.
I
So
see.
we had no option than to airlift him.
So this happened for natural causes, or something happened during the washing?
No, this was natural causes. Nothing to do with accident or
And
it is work pattern or something.
so you asked for a helicopter over there.
CIRM.
Where was this? Where was the location?
We were luckily we were proceeding towards US.
Oh, wow.
So the
It would have been a
response
long
was very, very fast.
Okay.
Response was very fast.
Okay.
And then we had a death on board,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and then we had to, in the sense he choked on one of the motormen. He collapsed.
Okay.
He was on watch when he came during the tea time in the night.
Right.
So he was found lying on the companionway, top of companionway.
I see.
So we could see
Choked
he has
on
choked on
board.
his food.
Oh, wow.
He vomited, and then his windpipe and all that was choked.
Right.
So again, that was we were at I think Philadelphia, Anchorage.
Okay.
So we could call the helicopter, and then we could.
And then did you have any other death related to accidents on board?
Not death, but one of my electrical officer, while checking his our AC system, belt is there, no?
Yes.
If you remember,
Yes, yes.
belt check करने के
Yeah.
normally they have a tendency of putting their finger.
Right.
If it is loose or tight,
Okay, just to check the.
just to check that tight,
And it's
and
running.
his finger was in time, and he just sheared off. So I was told in time. I was, I think Rio Grande Anchorage. So in time I could contact the my agents, and then I kept
Got him off. Oh, you kept the pass.
in ice,
Okay.
and I think within 6 hours I could
Transport
get a
him
boat,
ashore
and finally I came to know that his finger is
Okay.
connected,
I
and
see.
his finger is okay.
He did come back on board. He went
No,
home
he,
from there.
he went home from there.
Okay. Okay.
That was
Yeah.
purely, I mean, like it's a not near miss. It is an incident.
Right. Right. No, but you were also telling me about the situation where the chief officer was working and there was an incident around that.
It happened, long time back.
Yeah.
I was that time. I had just, I think, 2 or 3 years of my command, and the chief officer, his family owns a lathe workshop.
His family owns a lathe workshop.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he was quite familiar with
the
lathe
lathe
work,
machine, yeah.
lathe work and all that. So one fine day,
Yeah.
16:30, I went on bridge. I didn't find chief officer. So second officer told me, sir, I think he's in engine room. I don't think, find out. So he phoned engine room and they said, yes, we have seen him in workshop. He
And
was
this
working
is
on
in
lathe.
daytime, right? I mean,
Daytime.
everybody is in the engine room.
Yeah, everybody is in the
Yeah.
job.
Okay.
We have seen him in workshop.
Right.
So I said, then tell him to come up.
Yeah.
What is he doing? He should be on the watch.
Yeah.
Though it was wrong on my part that it has happened,
Right.
because he should be on his watch.
Hmm.
But then your chief officer is. See, this I am talking when
Of course.
all these things were not implemented. There was no safety officer
Safety
culture,
officer or
culture
safety
and all that. Nothing. But then if your chief officer is doing something
Sure.
which he is confident of,
Yeah, and he's the.
and I
ultimate
have not, I don't know.
Right. Right.
So he was working on some pipe bending machine or something, and strengthening the pipe. He is working. He was filing
Right.
the pipe,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to our bad luck, the file had no wooden handle.
Right. The handle was missing.
The hand wooden to
So
hold
that part. is
that
the,
part, that sharp part, while he was working, it just pierced his.
So this is a very important learning lesson. I believe that equipment like these, like the lathe machine or even a drill for that matter, I mean, could be suddenly, it could turn into such a dangerous equipment, and anybody who's working on it, if it is unsupervised, it can lead to such incidents.
Yes, and since then we follow that policy that nobody except the certified or trained persons will operate lathe
Will operate.
and drill.
Right.
Forget about we can.
I used to operate lathe a lot during my time as well. But I mean, this incident actually, that's why it struck me so much that I mean, if you don't take the proper precautions, I remember an incident where I was wearing a face shield, and I was just about to start filing something, and it straight away came on my face shield, and if there was no face shield, something very dangerous could have happened.
See, wear face shield, wear goggles.
Yeah.
Those notices are always put.
Yeah.
Those safety stickers, IMO stickers and all, they are always there.
Always there.
But we miss, nobody thinks of that handle is not there,
Exactly.
and that will lead to this problem.
Lead to this problem, fatal incident. You were also, I'm sorry, I think we before we transitioned from the cargo, there was another thing I wanted to ask was about the ventilation and the fumigation.
Yes, that part,
aspect
that
of
is
it.
again, very important
Yes, we
part.
can go back to it and maybe have a couple of
Yeah.
pointers on that.
Ventilation is very, very important for different cargoes, all of us we know sweating, cargo sweat and ship sweat. When moisture is formed on the cargo,
Right.
it is cargo sweat, and when the moisture is sweat
Forms
born
on the
on the
ship's
cold
side. Yeah.
surface of the ship, it is ship sweat. So ventilation is very important. We follow that dew point method.
Right.
When the dew point of the outside air is
It's
lower
than
the atmosphere in the cargo,
you should
then
ventilate.
you should ventilate.
Okay.
You
This
should
is what-
ventilate.
I mean, I've just theoretically learned it in college to pass my exam. But,
Yeah. But then
what is the real implication of this?
practically-
That's very interesting.
we do it.
Sure.
We have to do it.
And is there a perfect method to measure the dew points of the outside airs and
outside air
everything
and
else?
wet and dry,
Stevenson screen.
wet and dry
Stevenson
bulb, it is
screen,
there.
yeah.
Stevenson screen
Yes.
is there.
Yes. So you
From
calculate
there you calculate the table is there,
The table
which
is
is only in Mariner's handbook.
And that is very reliable, right? The
But that
system
is
very
reliable.
reliable.
Dew point system is reliable in the sense that the temperatures you cannot, you don't have to really worry about it.
Okay, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong.
Right. Okay.
But the other cargo with grain cargo, the
Uh-huh.
cargos where the moisture content is very very important, there we follow 3-degree rule.
Okay, what is that?
That external air temperature, if it is less than 3 degree from the cargo temperature,
Yeah,
then only you ventilate.
I see. I see. If the difference is at least 3 degrees.
3 degree, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So that we are talking of cargo temperature.
Yeah.
We are not talking of atmosphere in the cargo hold.
Right.
Here we are talking of temperature of the cargo. So what temperature you loaded the cargo, that matters very much in the grain cargos.
Oh.
I think we will come back
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
On soybean, it is the most important.
Okay.
That is where, because it takes a lot of time, I have to give.
Yeah. No.
Time on that.
would be, yes. That is our.
And other part is, what reminded me correctly, that fumigation is very, very important, where a lot of incidents happen. After completion of grain cargo,
Yeah.
fumigate the hole, and then one by one we have to close the hole. So that is aluminum phosphide gas.
Okay.
They put the tablets.
Right.
Sometimes they put a tube, the tablets. Accordingly, how many tablets they have to put in the hold,
Okay.
depending on the capacity of the hold and the cargo loaded.
Right.
Formula is there, and then they put that much of cargo.
Okay.
So you should be wearing proper mask, so that you don't, by mistake, you don't inhale
Right. This is very dangerous
phosphine
for
gas.
your
Very,
phosphate
very
gas. Oh.
very, very dangerous. It doesn't give you warning.
Okay. Okay.
And
Right.
then we had this, and then we have to be very careful that these tablets
Yeah.
can catch fire if the
They can
weather
catch
is
fire.
not good. Yes, it can catch fire if during the raining, moist condition,
Oh, I see.
when the humidity is high.
I see.
Don't do,
Okay.
because
They will
and
catch fire when the humidity is high.
yeah,
I
if
see.
it is raining, then also.
Okay.
And sometimes the tablets which they have got in the box,
Yeah.
it's an aluminum container in which these tablets come. They open the container and they pour. If that has been kept, I don't know, which is not in our control, if those tablets have become old or moist, sometimes they may also give off oxygen, give off phosphine very fast.
I see.
Otherwise, they put the tablets on the top of the cargo,
Right.
and then we close the hole.
Right. Right.
If something has to happen, it will happen very much, if somehow by mistake 4 bottles he has put in this area,
Yeah. Yeah.
it cannot, it will give too much of gas.
Oh, okay.
It should be spread out
Right.
in the all sides of the cargo.
Right. Right. And this
Fumi-
phosphate gas, when it is used for this kind of fumigation, so this becomes a risk to everybody on board, right? I mean, is there any chance of the gas leaking out and then somebody may be walking on deck and inhaling it?
Not during loading,
Okay.
once you have loaded and you have sailed out,
Hmm.
then you have risk of.
Oh.
Suppose your hatches are not properly sealed,
Yes.
your ventilators are not properly sealed,
Right.
they are not, there is chances of gas leaking out.
Right.
Let's suppose your bulkhead, forward collision bulkhead, which opens in the forepeak store,
Yes.
and the aft bulkhead, which opens in engine room,
right.
and there is some leak.
Oh, then it's going into the engine room in the forepeak store and other places.
So they give you the sample tube
Yeah.
and the probe.
Okay.
So you're supposed to check every day.
I think this is one of the very important lessons that when we think of a place being dangerous for entry, we usually think of it like nobody would imagine forepeak store can be something dangerous for entry. It's not typically an enclosed space, but since it is next to that, and this happens also on tankers or even for ships carrying DRI, direct reduced iron,
DRI,
the oxygen depletion that happens. It's very important for when you're entering a space, even if it is apparently safe, like a bosun store or a forepeak store, to make sure that all the necessary precautions, ventilations, everything is done, because this has cost the lives of many people.
Most of the, as per P&I, most of the deaths are entry into enclosed space.
Right.
Mistakes.
Still
Still happening.
Still happening.
In spite of everyone,
It's very
emphasis, lot of emphasis on the training. Drills have been every,
Of
I
course.
think, 14 days.
of course. Yeah.
But still
Still happening.
it is happening,
True.
Even with our grain cargo.
Yeah.
So once we fumigate, we can do ventilation only after 15 days.
Right. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you are fumigating and then you are ventilating, you have to be careful. Again,
Yeah.
the crew should wear mask.
Right.
Your exposure should be less.
Of course.
The general thinking, hatch, we will open the hatch, no problem. Wind is blowing, ship is sailing,
Right.
nothing will happen.
Right.
But why you have to do this?
Of course. Yeah.
That is why the checklist risk assessment fails.
Mm. Yeah.
Psychological safety part,
Yeah.
it depends from person to person.
Right.
How much he is willing to take risk, that is not in my hand. But they expect that I should know each and every crew.
Yeah.
In the sense, when I am giving work
As a master.
as a team,
You are supposed to be a
who is
superhero.
supposed to be
Yeah.
that who you can give that work, or
And who will be
yeah.
unsafe or to be assigned. No, that's so pertinent.
But then again, these are the challenges, to run a incident-free ship,
Yeah.
and it makes you feel good, proud after your contract that yes, 6 months have passed, I have done
And
there is
eventless operation.
eventless operation, and plus
Yeah.
I have done the improvement on the ship.
Right. Right. One of the campaigns we started, it was very interesting that because we were talking about eventless operations and how impactful this is. Because you see, we have always thought about near misses. We should be reporting near misses. Yes, of course, we should be reporting them. Typically, near misses when something could have gone wrong, but it did not go wrong. But you can learn something from it. We started a campaign where we were encouraging seafarers and companies to also encourage positive operations. Like, for example, nothing happened. There was no incident. Let's say a mooring operation went so right. Perfect mooring operation. Nobody gets to report this, that you have conducted a mooring operation or a cargo operation or a fumigation or a ventilation operation and nothing happened because you took the right steps. So maybe we should also encourage people to write about what they did right. Just, sometimes you do some actions which is beyond checklists because of your experience and because of that. And there's nobody to appreciate you for that. I think it should be appreciated. I think it should be
It's a good concept.
Yeah. This is
Because
opposite of nearness.
you are going to get data which
Yes.
says this is how, if you do these operations in this way,
Correct.
maybe it will be eventless.
Correct.
Maybe it's there.
Exactly. Because somebody who has spent 10 years at sea as a chief officer, as a master, as a chief engineer, without a major incident, that's an event. That's something to be reported. That's an achievement, So, and what is that person doing right? We may have some data for that. You should have some data for that, so that we can actually, use it. But that's a great thought. From all these, the cargo operations and the loading, discharging, and the whole cleaning side of it, which we just discussed, also the ventilation, fumigation. Do you find that there are any major P&I club claims that come up where in any of these operations, particularly in terms of ventilation or fumigation? Of course, we have that topic of soybean cargo towards the end. We will discuss that separately. But apart from that, do you find any other aspect which results in claims in many ships, or you have seen, you have sort of heard or experienced something like that?
Most of the time, P&I claims are related with cargo.
Yes.
Wet cargo means your hatches are not watertight.
Okay.
Leakages
Right.
from ventilator or from other reasons.
Right.
And then cargo related is again self-heating.
Right.
Heat damage. You have engine room bulkhead. Engine room temperature. I'll come in soybean also. I'll explain. I am coming via Red Sea in June, July.
Okay.
My engine room temperature is 48.
Right.
Sea water temperature is 40.
Right.
Right? And then if I have wing tanks,
Right. Yeah.
oil tanks which are wing tanks,
That's getting heated up.
that is again heating. Because
Wow.
the outside temperature is again 40 degree.
Right.
So even if we try to keep it, all fuel tanks temperature not more than 36.
Okay. Yeah.
But your outside temperature is
40
giving you
degrees.
40 degree.
It's heating automatically getting heated.
It is giving you a temperature of 40 degree.
Sure.
Adjacent bulkhead is what? Soybean.
Okay.
So that cargo.
And the cargo at the adjacent bulkhead can get damaged.
Sometimes we find, that what happens is soybean, corn also yellow.
Right.
But then if it is damaged because of heat, it will turn brown, darkish
Right.
brown.
Right.
So you find in engine room bulkhead cargo stuck.
Oh.
But it will not be much.
Okay. It's a minor damage.
Not much,
Okay.
not minor damage, which I have seen receivers also are aware.
Okay.
So they ensure that one of their person is always standing number 7 hole.
Okay. That's the engine.
That's the engine room. Because
Correct.
they also know.
Okay.
Then other P&I claims, I have rarely have got
Yeah.
any claims on that, Even time charter, I had no delays. In delays ke time mein, then they will normally ask. Speed claims also I never had.
Right. Wonderful. Fantastic. So bringing you back, and we are going a little back and forth here. Bringing you back to your incidents. What I understand, you also did a rescue operation, right? Search and rescue operation.
Yeah, I was lucky to participate in 3 rescue operations.
Wow. Okay.
One was on my first ship as command. I was off Mozambique, and we had a VHF Mayday on channel 16.
Okay.
Mayday, we need assistance. And we asked the position, so we could see only we are 20-25 miles
From the location.
from the
Okay.
location.
Yes.
So we diverted the vessel. But one thing which I want to tell our viewers is always keep somebody informed of your intentions.
Okay.
And somebody becomes who? MRCC. In which area you are.
Right.
So somehow I am talking of, I got my command in 97.
Right.
So it is 27 years in command.
Right.
So
Okay, wow.
97. This happened in 97, 31st December.
I see. This is the first command, the first ship you were in command.
First ship, but not the first voyage.
Okay.
Not the first voyage. So I had, I could send by SATC. That time email was not there.
So you sent a message to MRCC
SATC,
by SATC.
MRCC,
Okay.
Cape Town, that I have on VHF channel 16. I have heard this, and I am going to attend this distress call,
Okay.
and I will revert back of my outcome.
Okay.
I am proceeding.
Okay.
I'll keep you updated.
Okay.
And then we went there. Weather was not very bad.
They didn't acknowledge this. The MRCC did not acknowledge the SATC message. You sent it.
I sent.
That's it. Yeah.
That's
okay.
it. I sent.
Okay.
That time, everything was available in ALRS. You could
Right.
Nowadays everything is ebook.
Right.
And then half the time when I ask my officers, can you give me that page?
Yeah.
And if you ask me, I remember those books pages also.
Right.
I can find. I know. I don't have to spend time. Mariners Handbook. I know where it is given.
Right.
IMSBC. I know which page, angle of repose,
Yeah.
where it is described of this cargo.
Right.
But nowadays, I find it difficult. Even they find it difficult. But then,
Of course.
that is
It's more
becoming more.
Right.
So we reached the scene of incident. It was a yacht, and that lady was only with the skipper.
So there was a lady and there was a skipper. There were only two people.
There were only two people, and they had gone for a cruise or something.
And you're talking about a full on like 25-meter yacht, kind of a big
25
yacht.
meter, big yacht.
Okay.
Big yacht.
Okay.
Big yacht, and then weather was okay, and this was, I think, Cameroon Islands.
Okay.
So they had sailed from Cameroon Islands, and they were coming towards Mozambique. Towards Mozambique, and the weather was bad for them in the last 2 days.
Okay.
So she has not eaten anything, and she has been continuously vomiting.
Okay.
That is why they relayed this distress message.
Okay.
So when we reached closer, contacted them on VHF, and then I said, okay, you stay there, you don't do anything, I will come closer to you, and when I am ready, I will either lower the lifeboat if it is required, or I will throw the lifebuoy because the weather is fine.
Okay.
So if the distance between me and you,
It's
and I will
small,
keep a
you
lee,
jump on the water,
I'll give
yeah.
you lee, so you will come closer to me, and that is distance even 10 meters,
Correct.
we can pull it up.
Yes.
So we have rigged the net also, ladder also.
Right.
So by the time I could really stop and do, she got very excited and she jumped into the water wearing the life jacket.
Okay.
And she held on to the life buoy. So I could pick her up.
Okay.
Picked her up, same normal first aid, checked
Okay.
pulse, temperature, everything is okay.
Right.
Gave her water, blanket. And then
And then you disembarked her.
again, that my good senses prevailed. And then I sent a message to MRCC, Cape Town, that I have picked her up. This is her name. She is German citizen. This is her passport number. All this. And I request you to please send helicopter
Okay.
to disembark.
Yeah. So you were not going to stop. You were just passing by. And the helicopter was supposed to pick her up and...
But then I had no idea that they will come. This was a request.
Correct. And
Because I was going to Tanzania, Dar es Salaam.
Right.
So I wanted to avoid the paperwork which I have to do for those immigration.
Right.
You know how it is.
Yes.
That time it was not much. Now it is painful.
It's always Africa and all the other countries.
I have been on East Africa, West Africa route.
Yeah.
So I have experience of stowaways also. If we have time,
Wow.
I will discuss on that.
Yeah, of course.
So they could send a helicopter, and then with that helicopter, most of the time I have seen helicopters, they don't land on board.
Right.
They just lower the rescue strap, and then you can winching only, and they are airlift, and then she was picked up.
Okay. And then she finally got back to Cape Town, South Africa, and
And
then
then
flew back wherever. I mean, I think one of the lucky things were that she was carrying proper documentation
Documents, yes.
and she had all the proofs, because otherwise it's
I think
so difficult.
that
to
was the
disembark
reason
somebody.
MRCC Cape Town
Acknowledged.
could.
Plus German connection
German
and other
connection,
things.
yes.
Okay.
Second was, that was the huge one. If you have heard, Stellar Daisy. It was a.
The name rings a bell. I'm not sure.
It was a very large ore carrier,
Okay.
ULOC,
Okay.
and then she parted in two
I see.
without any warning.
Because of loading.
Without any warning,
I see.
we had no distress message. We received MRCC relay message from the IPA by again MRCC Cape Town.
I see. And this was again on the coast of Africa.
No, this was 1,000 miles away from Rio de Janeiro.
Oh,
Like the
so
mid-ocean.
Middle of the
In middle of the
South
ocean.
Atlantic Ocean.
Yes, middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Right. Okay.
And this message I saw in the night.
Okay.
My route was more or less, I knew morning 4 o'clock I'll be 20 miles away
From the location of
from the location.
incident.
And this incident I have received in the night 2000 hours.
Okay. Right.
So I could guess this incident must have happened at least 4 hours before,
Right.
around 1600 or after lunch. So by the time I will reach to the scene, it will be about 18 to 20 hours.
Yeah.
But no problem. I couldn't, and my duty officers in general, MRCC relay, distress relay message. So they didn't bother.
Side. Okay.
Their nature.
Sharp it to this
But
side. Yeah.
when I came on the bridge in the night orders ke time mein, and then I went through it.
Yeah.
And I told them, any distress message, you're supposed to make entry
Lodge,
also,
At least.
log
yes.
also.
Yeah.
And then you have to inform me.
Right.
You're not aware only.
Right.
In any case, I told them, give me a call at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
4
You were
o'clock.
naturally going in that direction.
I'm
You
going
had
in
a-
that direction.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
morning 4 o'clock when I reached on bridge, I could hear 2 ships talking
Okay.
on 16 regarding this vessel.
Okay.
So without asking anyone, I diverted and I sent a message. That was under MRCC Honduras.
Okay.
I sent the message to MRCC Cape Town. I have received your message, acknowledged it, and then morning I will be closer to the incident and I have intention of diverting and proceeding to the scene.
Okay.
He came back and he
Right.
told me, Captain, I am not the designated MRCC. It is MRCC under MRCC Honduras. So you please contact them.
Okay. Okay.
So I contacted MRCC Honduras also.
Honduras is so far away
So far
from
away,
the
yeah.
Central America side.
But then they have divided the territory.
Okay.
Every MRCC is divided.
Okay.
So this is your territory. So they will handle.
Okay.
So after once I have diverted and I am reaching there, then I inform my office that this is this.
And then you inform the charterers and the others as well.
Other party, like it is like this, and then
Yeah,
I have
nobody
decided to
will.
go. Nobody came back. Nobody. Obviously, it is my duty.
Yes, and it's a proud moment even for the company.
No, other ships have passed without going there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So when I reached there were 2 other ships already doing the rescue operation.
Okay.
And,
And this just so I understand, I mean, this ship had just broken into 2.
later on, what we came to know, in the sense that once I was there for 3 days.
Okay.
We
And
went-
you also did some part of
Yeah,
rescue
we
operations.
did the search and rescue operation because the MRCC told us because only 3 people we could save and no trace of other crew.
There was no trace.
No
of the-
trace of other crew. And you will be surprised,
Wow.
when a ship breaks in 2, you will have a lot of debris, something
Yes,
floating.
yes.
Nothing I could find.
All
8
the
o'clock,
way
by
down.
the time I reached there, it was daylight. 8 o'clock, nothing I could see.
So
Nothing.
it was clean.
It was clean.
Nothing.
No oil pollution was.
My God, it was completely down in the seabed.
Completely down in the seabed. So by the time
So
I reached...
nobody still knows the reason why it happened, or
No,
must have been overloading or something,
no.
right?
Those 3 people were saved.
Oh, yeah.
One AB, one motorman, and one other crew.
Okay.
Their version only we know.
Yes.
What they said is that suddenly the ship took a list,
Okay.
and list kept on increasing.
Okay.
And suddenly, all this happened within half an hour.
I see.
So they had no time to even broadcast on VHF, no time to even press any distress button.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he has so many,
Of course.
It takes 1 minute, 10 seconds here. And no duty officer, nobody could do anything.
It just sank.
It just sank,
fell down.
and the EPIRB, when it floated,
That is when the MRCC
that is when the position was relayed.
Wow. My God. Can't even imagine this. I mean, the ship staff didn't even have a chance to save themselves.
No chance. These fellows, sorry. They also, what AB was telling, that he jumped
Okay.
and he was sucked into that
whirlpool. Oh,
And then he was thrown out.
I see.
And he could, little bit of swimming, he could find a life raft.
I see.
So we
The
were 3
others
ships.
just went down with the ship.
We were 3 ships doing, as per Honduras instructions, parallel search.
Right.
So we were given every day and night different coordinates.
Right.
We could see the epoch in the night, in the daytime also. And then we used to send the position of the epoch, how it is drifting.
Yes.
And they had to continue this search and rescue because it's a question of life.
Of course.
Maybe another 4 or 5 we can find.
Yes.
Because
We cannot take a
nobody
chance
can
on
say,
it.
and
Yes.
it is the way it is drifting.
Even if it is 1% chance, there's a chance.
There is a chance. And
But nobody was found. After
nobody was
three
found.
ships were searching.
3 days nobody else was found.
So all the 3 ships, you and 2 other ships.
Yeah,
right?
2 other ships.
Okay.
2 other ships, and then we were told, we were requested by the company ki if you see any part of the ship,
Yeah.
we could see lifeboat broken, floating,
I see. Okay. I see.
and then we could see a life raft which is also broken and floating. So they requested if you can. I picked up one of the life raft broken part.
I see.
Now tell me how you will pick up the life raft.
Right.
Again, same apna we made a hook,
Yeah.
but it is of rubber.
Right. So you could use the net probably, right? So yeah.
Something has to go on the
Right. Of course. On the
hook.
life raft.
first attempt. I couldn't manage to pick it up.
Right.
Second attempt, I could pick it up.
Mm.
When I told Chivo sir, no, till I tell you, don't do anything.
Right.
First attempt, he started very early.
Yeah.
When I could goodly, and then it will come
Yeah.
from bow.
Yeah.
You can see it will drift. I said, you stand near number 2, let him drift and come to you.
Yeah, because the
It
current
is coming to
flowing
you.
that way.
So you pick up when it is near you.
Yeah.
And luckily the hook stuck in one of the places.
Okay.
So by this life raft, they could find the cylinder number, and it was required for P&I. It was a question of claim. How will they prove their ship sank?
Okay.
This was the
that
one
was
of-
the only way to find out. that
No,
was-
they might be having other, but I don't know.
Right.
After third day, then I spoke to the company and they said, you're low on fuel, request them if they can release you. By that time, their company's other ship was coming.
Okay.
He was going to become the on-scene commander.
Okay.
And they said, okay, Captain, thank you. And
released
you can, I was released. And the owners were kind enough to come to us, our office, and then they met our director and then presented them with a thanks of appreciation. Something like that.
Yeah, this is, I think, a proud moment for everybody when you save even one person. If you can save, at least being part of the rescue mission itself is such a. And I think, Captain Tirath, what I sometimes realize is that we have lived. I mean, I've been 25 years at sea. You've been for 40 years. I think very few people realize how so very practical this job is. Like, it's nothing to do with your desk jobs or theory. It is absolutely hands-on, hardcore, practical work. That is like even to pick up that life raft, so many calculations are going on in your head, which is how the ship should be maneuvered and how the drift is coming on. And this is not, I mean, so different from typical or traditional jobs which have primarily the shore jobs, or many of the other jobs have become not just in maritime, I'm saying across the board. I think most of the jobs have become very docile and desk based. This is so much different. I think I'm very proud of my profession for that.
We are very much.
Very proud.
Even if AI comes into play, I don't know how these things will be handled.
Of course. Yes.
Because you can write 100 books, but can you write what maneuvering I will do during that period of time? How was the weather condition?
Yes.
How was the currents? How the thing was drifting? No,
Yes.
it is your
your
idea.
experience and your sharpness on that.
That okay, this is what I will do. This is how my team will work.
Yes. Very true.
Nobody can guide you. That is that is one thing which makes you more proud. That is, there is no one above you.
Yes. True.
You are the last.
True. The last line of defense.
Nothing.
There's nobody else.
Whatever you decide is the end of it.
Is the final decision. That is so true.
And then my third rescue was, this was fishermen's.
Okay.
Fishermen's, their oil was going to finish.
Ah,
And they were drifting. This was Anjun Island. This
okay.
was again, when I am going to rounding the Cape. उसके
Okay.
पहले
On the African side.
on the African side,
Okay. I mean, Indian Ocean side, not the Atlantic
no,
side.
Indian Ocean side.
Okay.
So in the morning, we had received a message from MRCC reunion.
Okay. Union
Most of the
Islands.
master will not know this.
Sure.
MRCC exist also. I
Right.
have done with them. I have dealt with them, so I know.
Right.
That two fishermen are missing,
Okay. Yes.
and they had left this island, and they were supposed to be proceeding to this island,
Right.
but there is no trace of them. So
Okay.
if you find or something, then please inform us.
Okay.
So this was at around 8 o'clock. Third officers, I had third officer and additional third officer,
Hmm.
who was look out and
Okay.
said.
Okay.
So they phoned me, "Ki, sir, we can see light flashing. So here, no chance of any boy, no." I said,
Right.
"Keep clear.
Right.
Yeah, I'm coming."
Right.
So I went there. So I could see flashing. They had a torch,
Okay.
and when their boat came quite close, so I could see them wearing, life jacket,
Okay.
and then fishermen. So I could tell them. We had, speaker.
Right.
You wait. Stop engine. Let me reduce.
You're using the loudspeaker.
Loudspeaker.
You had a loudspeaker. Like a
I
PA
am
system
very
kind
sure
of.
they may not be having the VHF.
Right. Of course.
So African countries,
Yes.
most of the chances they don't have. So by loud hailer, I told them, okay, you wait.
Yeah.
I will slow down and then I'll turn around. I will come.
Okay.
Or if you have, then they came. Actually, rather, I don't have to turn around. They came to me, and then I wanted them to come on board. They said, "No, we will not come on board." So I informed the MRCC that they have, but they are refusing to come on board and all that.
Okay.
So, and they have fishing boat. So they said, "No, Captain, tell them they have to come on board. Then only we can take them back."
So why were they not planning to come on board? I mean, what was the risk?
I don't know. They said
They're scared of getting
they're
caught.
scared.
Maybe going to jail or something.
No, not jail. They wanted to hide their identity.
Hmm. Okay. I see.
So they came on board, and I have to tie up their fishing boat on my stern,
Okay.
and then I proceeded at slow ahead.
But they did not have any papers or anything
No.
with them. Okay.
Some mobile number and all that was there, which
Yeah,
I sent to MRCC.
Okay.
So, and I have to proceed at slow speed because more speed, their boat were
Sure.
broken part.
Right. So basically towing it.
Towing. No, I
Right.
towed the fishing boat,
Okay.
and all this operation took about 4 hours. So they gave me an island where I have to go,
Okay.
and their rescue boat will come,
Okay.
and they will take the fishermen also and the boat.
Okay. I see. I see.
So here also not much of the first rescue also within 3 hours everything finished.
And this also.
Here also 3-4 hours everything finished.
And what was this incident with the stowaways?
See, stowaways in today's world with ISPS, it's a big thing.
Of course.
That means your SSP not working.
Yes. You will lose everything. I mean, you can, your ISSC
You have to
will get
amend, you have to
cancelled.
revise, and all that
Correct.
problem is there.
Hmm.
This is a bit before I
Okay.
am talking of.
Okay.
A very surprising things happened. I have picked up 2 stowaways
Okay.
twice.
I see.
First was I was in Port Sudan.
Uh-huh.
So when I sailed after discharge from Port Sudan,
Yeah.
after 2 days, these 2 fellows came up.
Answer.
They could be found. We asked them, how you boarded my ship?
They came up to the bridge. Or
They were where they were hiding.
Yeah, okay, you don't know where they were hiding, and they
came to know later
they
on.
just showed themselves.
Crew could see them.
Okay. Okay.
So we told them, why did you board our vessel?
Right.
And how did you board our vessel? The story is they stowed on a container vessel.
Hmm. Okay.
And from that vessel, when it was in Port Sudan, they were found.
Okay.
So those fellows told them, this ship is going to Europe.
Oh shit.
So they swam in the night and they came on our ship.
They swam all the way to the ship and then, okay. I see.
See, the problem is stowaways again, you are fully responsible with them.
Of course. Of course.
And who is losing? The owner. All their expenses is on the owner's side.
And the ship was going from Sudan to which place? US.
We were going after discharge, we were going again to Brazil.
Okay. 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 So these guys were trying to escape Africa. and
They
go-
never knew, no?
Yes.
They were told wrong.
Right.
You go on that ship, this ship is going to Europe.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So what I
They,
want to
they
tell...
thought that they were going to Europe. I mean, they did not understand that they were going to Brazil.
See, they were from, I think, Eritrea.
Okay.
So there were a lot of war
Eritrea,
problems going.
of course.
Riots or something were going on, and both of them were students.
I see.
So I think they had some problem.
Okay.
So they were worried that they will be arrested.
Okay.
That is why they were.
I see.
And then they, did all these things. Now the problem is you have to keep them on board safely
Right.
because it is your responsibility.
Right. Right.
So two of them, one cabin, you have to assign one crew member to look after them,
To look after.
lock the cabin, give them food, and
Then also, yeah.
no knife, no fork. You have to remember all that, and no.
Wow. So when they're eating the food, they cannot have a knife and a fork, and they have, of course, they may
Because they can do
they
anything. No?
may do anything. Yeah.
And then again, you are at.
My God.
You will be. Because I will tell you what all happened, I will tell you.
Hmm.
And then we were told to proceed to Richards Bay.
Okay.
So Richards Bay, I anchored. They could see, from the porthole they can see.
Okay. So they knew that they have come
And
somewhere.
they have to come some port.
Yeah.
Maybe who has told them Richards Bay or something like. So they knew they have come to South Africa.
Yeah.
So they stopped eating.
Hmm. I see.
Now tell me,
So
what
they
as a
want to
master
get
you will
off
do?
now. They want to get off. the
No,
ship.
they say I will not have food.
What is the demand? I mean, what? Why do they?
We don't want to get up at Richards Bay.
Oh, you don't want to get up. Okay. I see. Okay.
Because South Africa is the only country which still accepts stowaways.
Stories. Okay, but they don't want to go there because
They
of,
don't want to work because
Yeah,
they know.
I'm sure. Yeah, they'll be treating them so badly.
Because it is your responsibility. I have other incident. I have to sign bond of $500,000.
Oh,
Most of the ports that you have got an alien on board,
oh wow.
and you have got an alien in our country, which you are fully responsible. Make sure you take it with you.
Ah,
And during
Awesome.
the stay, you are responsible. If they jump in water, you will be caught.
that's
If
half a
anything
million
happens to
dollar
you,
bond. Yeah.
If anything happens to him, I
Your
told you, no.
responsibility.
He said, I will not have food. Tell me what you will do.
I can't even imagine. I mean, what would you? Yeah.
Somehow you have to manage, you have to tell them,
Sure.
okay,
Yeah.
whenever, chalo, we will not remove you here when you get off. We will give you clothes, something like
Some
that.
money.
Some money,
So
how
where
it
did you
will-
finally manage to get them off?
I got them off Cape Town
Cape Town.
through
So
P&I.
they-
Obviously, how P&I works is you have to give. Once they gave me wrong name,
Uh-huh.
that they are Ugandans.
Okay. The P&I.
No, these fellows.
Oh,
You have to take their
yes.
photographs. You have to keep all the details.
Right.
So they gave me, wrong. And P&I has
But
to find
still-
out in the database of their country.
Of course.
It takes time.
Right.
After 15 years, they came back and said, Captain, they are telling you lie. There is no name like this. So then I told them, unless and until you tell me the truth, you will not be able to disembark.
Right. Right. So then they came clean.
Then they came, and then we could find out they are from, and then they could disembark.
I see.
And it was all this cost, they're staying, and then what
So
happens
the
when you
owner's
disembark?
cost. Yes.
Immigration is involved. They have to be flown with an immigration officer,
Oh
Good.
wow.
handed over to him in their country
Their
to the
countries.
immigration.
I see.
That cost.
I see. I see. My God.
Once I have had a stowaway, the other one, which I had to keep in dry dock also in China.
Ah, okay. I
And
see.
those 15 days, Chinese
China.
immigration, 2 people were on board.
And these guys are sitting in one cabin,
Yeah.
guarded by the two Chinese.
No,
guys.
they're not sitting in the same cabin.
Acha, okay.
They're in there, they are just there. so that they don't run away.
My God.
But again, it is your responsibility.
Yeah.
During that period, during my tenure, I went to Korea, South Korea.
Right.
I went to Australia.
Wow.
Every port I used to ask them, immigration, phone them and ask them,
Okay.
I want to disembark them. Captain, no, our country doesn't permit. We don't allow.
Wow.
So literally I have to keep them for 3 months.
Right. Right.
Then I could disembark them in Durban.
I see.
Once
Wonderful.
I had not carried them. A very interesting incident,
Yes.
if you have time. I joined the vessel in Santos,
Brazil, right?
Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I joined the vessel, these stowaways were part of handing over.
I see. Okay.
What
so
happened?
they were on board for how many
Yes,
months?
that is the interesting thing. Nobody knew on board that we have stowaways.
Nobody
so
knew.
they were hiding in the transit space.
Okay.
She was in ballast,
Yeah.
and ship was in regular trip from Lagos to Santos,
Okay.
Nigeria.
Okay. And did they find out after you boarded to relieve the master? I mean,
They
that
were
time
found. They were standing on the rudder track when the agent and the authorities came in boat.
I see.
They saw 3 people standing on the trunk. So
Oh,
we can
God.
laugh, but
Transom space is very
the main thing is ki you have not declared.
Yeah.
It was all somehow managed with the port. Otherwise, you cannot. It's illegal.
My God.
You can be
Yes.
banned. You can be,
Which port again? This was
Santos.
Santos. So they're a little bit more relaxed than.
No, but all these incidents are 15 years back.
That time there was no ISPS.
Not so much of things, but then still, Harbour Master can refuse entry. It can create a lot of problems.
Right.
Somehow, charters managed. Somehow they managed.
I see.
And then this was a regular. So when the authorities took them
Yeah.
and got them back before my sailing, because ship is going to Nigeria.
Right. Right.
So you take them. They refused point blank to the authorities that we will not go with this master. He will kill us.
Kill us.
They said.
Okay. Because they wanted to stay there.
They don't want to go back. They
again.
don't want to go back to Nigeria.
Right. Right.
But then I told them,
Wonderful.
why
So-
I will kill you?
Yeah.
Well, somehow I managed to
Convinced.
get them off in Lagos.
Okay.
So these type of things happens,
Right.
You have to be very, very careful.
Hmm.
And again, at the end of the day, you can make 100 of checklists. But who is checking? Your crew.
Sure.
They have to be particular about it.
Yes.
That whatever areas I have to check, I will check it thoroughly.
Yes.
That is where, the mistakes are done.
Sure.
Other thing which, I can put emphasis on, whenever the companies are also sending the crew on board, they try to select people who have worked on that type of ship.
Hmm.
Now, if you crane ship and if you send the crew who have never worked on a crane ship, what crane area they will check? Tell me.
Correct. True.
They will open the cabin, nobody is there, and they will say ki sir koi nahi hai.
Sure. Sure.
Nobody is there.
Yeah.
So these type of things happen,
Yeah. That is
which I have come to know from other ships.
right. Getting the right people in the right place, thorough professional people, is a matter of there's a lot of matter of chance. I mean, you don't always have.
You don't always have.
Yeah.
We understand that, the companies also don't have much of choice at times, you have to manage.
Correct.
But sometimes you get stuck. And the incident like this happens, at the end of the day, it is master.
It's always a master.
During your command, this happened.
So, what was the incident in the Parana River that you were
Okay,
mentioning?
we go to Argentina also for loading grain cargo. Rio Parana, I was in ballast. So, and draft was 6.8 meter and I ran aground with the pilot on board
Okay.
in ballast condition.
Yeah, that's nothing. I mean, 6.8 meter is hardly
Nothing.
any draft. Yes.
But we could refloat
Yeah.
with our own, in the sense we picked up anchor, again, tried to
Okay.
do some head movement, stern movement with the
Some
pilot.
simple movements.
Simple
you were
movements, and we
floating.
could and waited for half an hour, and she could refloat. Tide was picking up. Then I asked pilot, how can this happen?
Yeah.
In ballast,
Right.
loaded ships also pass, no?
Yeah.
He said, this is the channel. Today we are using this, which is for ballast passage.
Yes.
But sometimes, the bottom
keep shifting.
shifting, the
Yeah.
sand mobile.
Right.
So, the bank is shifting. So,
Right.
unfortunately, it has happened with you. But we were lucky.
This was
He
one of
told
the
me,
normal incidents.
yeah, but then see again, he says, I will inform the harbour master.
Okay.
And he will come to inspect what? That this incident had not happened because of the ship's fault. They will always try to find the fault on the ship. Steering was not working properly, engine movement
They
was
will try to
sluggish,
find it.
this and that.
Yeah.
So, to my good luck, in 1 hour we could handle,
In
and I
1
told
hour.
him, let us try.
Okay.
And it will reflect bad on your, during your pilotage also it has happened. But don't worry, it will not reflect bad on me.
Right.
I am your servant.
No, that's very
That's
interesting.
another thing which we face. That is why master pilot exchange has become so important. Pilot
Of
card has
course.
become so important.
Of course, and that's a master pilot information exchange for a long time. It was on a number of ships. It was not being carried out in a proper manner, and nowadays it is much more structured. I believe it is. They've come up with
With a lot of bridge team management courses and simulation also and all that. So people are very much aware of it. But again, if you don't keep a check,
yeah.
there are still chances of mistakes.
Of course.
I have seen,
Person-
normally what happens, duty officer, still they try to stand near the telegraph to give the movement.
Right. Right.
But that is not what you are supposed to do.
That's the easier job.
That's the easier job. Why I am saying is because, why each and every person on the bridge is important. AV steering. He has to give his full concentration those 3 hours when he's on the bridge.
Yes, and it's very
He
tough.
cannot dream.
Yes. It's so
The pilot
tough.
has said
It's-
20 degrees starboard and he gives 20 degree port. If you have not
Yeah.
seen it in 30 seconds,
Yes.
you have no time.
You're not total.
And it has happened.
Yes.
It has happened. It is possible to happen.
Correct. Human error would always.
So somebody has to be always watching.
True.
It has become very important. The bridge team, a lot of emphasis is there. A lot of research has also been done on this part. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I still feel
Yeah.
that as a master, you have to be.
Right.
Slight deviation from the your voyage message plan.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
At the end of that, if anything happens during that deviation, pilot will say you have not informed
You
me.
have not informed me, and you have not properly documented things, and this is a deviation of your routes, and then nobody can save you. I mean, essentially, yeah. And you wanted to also mention something about the anchoring procedures, and you were saying.
Yes, anchoring is
Yeah,
always a very critical operation.
of course.
It cannot be taken very lightly. Anything can happen during anchoring because ship is you are never dynamic forces take place,
Right.
which is not in your hand. You exactly don't know. Nowadays, a lot of equipments are there to give you current, wind, this data, but actually what is happening, you still don't know.
Yes.
Beside that, we frequently go to Fujairah,
Right.
where the depth where we have to anchor is more than 100 meters.
Yes. Definitely.
Everyone knows.
Yes.
You have to walk back, full anchoring.
Right.
But still, you have to always keep in mind, how much cable you have down. You don't know how she is leading.
Right.
The cable is leading.
Yeah.
You have to. I make sure that when I am more or less 5 shekels,
Right.
I am not making any speed. She is more or less standstill,
Okay. Yeah.
and try to keep her that way.
Right.
But by the time again you are walking back, your windlass
You're
is
laying
slow.
it down, yes.
You are laying down, cable.
Yeah.
So by the time you come down 9 shekels, it will take 10 minutes.
Yes.
and full operation will take 30 minutes.
And Fujairah is such a place where ships have actually lost anchors because of running back. Because of letting go.
Letting go,
and,
yeah. Because of
things like
letting
that.
go, yeah.
Yes.
Again, at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind that every company has got that, toolbox meeting.
Sure. Yeah.
You have told everyone, walk back karna hai.
Right.
We have to, we don't let go. But
But then something happens.
when something happens out of, blue, or there is some emergency, they just forget.
Yes.
They freeze and then they come back. They will open the brake and that's it.
That's it. Once you open the brake in those kind of depths, it cannot
hold.
You cannot save the anchor.
You will just lose the anchor.
So now, before we come to the last topic, we can probably spend a few minutes just discussing about in the present times, especially you've sailed through COVID times, and for so many years you've been seeing the growth of the generations. You've literally sailed with probably 3 or 4 generations of seafarers. So, and there's a lot of discussion today in today's day and age about well-being and mental well-being and the mental health of seafarers. So, how do you see that? And do you think it's a challenge? And what are the elements that you see are different or should be concerned about?
New generations things are very different. They want to be connected all the time.
Sure, yeah.
Which we have to accept.
We have to accept.
We have to agree.
Yeah.
During our time, nobody was bothered.
Nobody was.
After a month, you will get a mail packet that 2 letter.
Yes, and the person who gets the letters.
The day you get the mail packet is a very happy day of the ship.
Happiest day of your life.
And then everyone just forgets about it. Nowadays, your son gets fever also, and if he gets cold also, you are worried.
Because you're getting a WhatsApp on the ship. Yeah.
And then it affects your work.
Of course.
A lot of people deny that. They don't accept it. But then it affects.
Of course it does.
It affects.
It does. Yes.
So, in the sense ki mental well-being is important, and I will say mental health, that has become a much more important thing.
Yeah.
Because if you have chosen a sea carrier, these type of things will happen.
Of course.
You have to take your career, or your profession has to take preference somewhere.
Sure.
For that you have to be mentally tough.
Yeah.
Mentally tough means you have to keep your cool. So role of meditation, yoga,
right.
Mindfulness.
It's becoming more and
more important. Or sharing your problems, or sharing your views, sharing your happiness with other people has become important.
Right, and I think one of the things that we have lost especially in the last 15 years, is the human contact on ships.
Correct.
We have lost the ability to go to smoke rooms, and unfortunately, I don't even know if this is ever going to come back or not. But it was that, as you said, that if you have a problem at home, you do not. In today's day and age, people do not feel the need to share it with the colleague next door. But they would much rather share it with a friend which is 5,000 miles away through WhatsApp or through a Facebook.
They will share it with the fleet personnel.
Yeah,
manager.
that too, yeah. Of course.
That is how it is. Nowadays,
That's true.
in spite of, then the problem with WhatsApp is once you have received the message, you cannot ignore it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So things are different, but then I think we have to adopt.
Yes, true. Now that's a big adoption that we are talking about, and going forward, technology is moving so fast, and ships are getting now. Internet is going to be more and more easily available and free, which is a good thing in a lot of respects. Of course, we need internet to stay connected, but how that affects our mental health, I think that is something of a debatable topic.
Yes. And plus, you have to keep your professional and personal separate. Because you are getting money from here. This is your profession. So that if that is clear, I think certain
Simple
things
enough.
you have to ignore.
Yeah.
Why we could manage the ship without speaking to the family for 1 month, 2 months?
Right. Right.
We used to wait when we will pass Doha radio.
Yeah.
They will connect. You wait for 1-2 hours in line.
Right. Right.
We have also done the ships. Okay, I agree. You may give me 100 reasons. Sir, that time traffic was very less. All this was not there.
Yeah.
The workload was not so much. Crew was 30, crew was 30, 35. But still,
Right.
problems are multiplied. Then you are given resources also.
Yeah. Sure.
All these equipments were not there.
Yeah. Right.
Now here you don't have to do anything. Last voyage, when I was coming through Suez, lot of naval ships in that area,
Yeah.
GPS is blocked. GPS is jammed by all those vessels. So I have no ACDIS, no radar, nothing.
Right.
Now you tell me, how you expect me to do the transit, anchor in port side,
Right.
join the convoy?
Right.
Luckily, Suez Canal requirement is there that you should have the chart, approaches charts.
So that was what you had to use.
That is what I used.
I got
From the radar distance,
it. I see.
but the distance 20 miles, or you
Right.
follow the other ships. But the risk involved is too much.
Too much. You cannot.
And when I send a message to my agent with a copy to company and please pass it on to the Suez Canal Authority, they said ki other ships are also doing. Captain, this has been happening from
God.
2 years. You're not the only ship.
I see.
Most
Wow.
now, if you ask any of the new officer, please use the sextant.
Yeah. That's impossible. Now,
First, he will not know where is the sextant.
Where is this? Yeah, and most of the officers would plot a position which is probably on the top of Mount Everest or thousands of miles away. Not to disrespect.
Their simple reason is,
definitely because the need has come.
yeah, we don't need to do this, sir. We
Correct.
have GPS.
Yeah.
We have other sources. He said, no problem.
I've also faced a situation where we had a gyro failure, and how serious a gyro failure can be. I mean, we don't realize sometimes. We might think that okay, gyro has only like meter, port, and starboard repeat. Gyro has 10-15 repeaters. I mean, it's got a repeater in the head, it's got a radar, it's got a
They've got feed everywhere.
everywhere. There's stealing time. Everywhere. So if the gyro is failing, your AIS is failing, your AIS is failing, your radar is failing. So all the relative bearings, all the bearings which you would have seen, which was absolute, now has become relative bearings. And you've got to go back to your primitive idea of navigation, whatever you learned, which was very, very rooted and very, organic learning of navigation. From there you have to navigate the vessel. As you said, then you would also not have those,
We have tailed with LoRa and Omega.
Yeah.
I had known satellite navigator also. It has come later on.
Right. No, I
So,
think
and on a
that's-
lighter note, you need one person to stop the alarms which are coming from all this equipment. Yes or no?
Correct. True. True.
You will keep on getting these alarms.
Yeah. That's true.
It has happened with me, but long time back in the sense ki during English Channel passage, gyro failed. So I have sailed with a magnetic compass, and even pilot took me to Antwerp, Rotterdam, using their pilotage. They are quite familiar with magnetic compass. But then that time, obviously gyro compass, then you completely make sure that before you sail from that port.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if it happens that the PC will come to know beforehand only.
Right. I think this has been such a beautiful discussion that I'm very, very lucky to have you, and thank you so much for such a eventful back and forth that we had. I hope you enjoyed it too. It was probably
It was nice to share.
yeah.
I have gone through so many things, but I am proud also what I have done. There is always ups and downs.
Yes. Absolutely. You've had a tremendously eventful career, as I understand from even this short discussion we had. And maybe someday again we'll call you back to discuss about other experiences that you've had. But
Thank you so much for your time. Great.
It was my pleasure. You are most welcome to again connect with my viewers. No problem.